When Canada elected JD Vance's old buddy to the House of Commons, you had to know he'd get up to some weird shit. And Conservative MP Jamil Jivani hasn't disappointed. I got my hands on a leaked invitation he sent around to the other MPs, inviting them to an event on Parliament Hill to, quote, end liberal racism. Yeah. Jivani is using resources he has access to because he's a member of Parliament. Resources that have restrictions on their use that I would argue he's getting real close to the line of violating, particularly given the public link he's sharing in relation to the event. Warns it might use your personal information to send you promotional materials that you canceled by contacting votejamil.ca. Anyway, he's using those resources to hold an event next week called the National Forum to End Liberal Racism. Can you imagine how the Conservatives would react if a Liberal MP sent out an email called the National Forum to End Conservative Racism? Anyway, in the email, Jivani claims that, quote, through policies like DEI, liberal racism actively undermines the talents and abilities of Canadians from minority communities while excluding many Canadians from employment opportunities and government programs. Liberal racism also encourages contempt for Canada's rich history and traditions. Now, where have I heard this before? Oh, right. What's even more wild is in a follow-up email rescheduling the event because the budget vote is set to take place at the same time. Jivani ended his email with, quote, liberal racism can run, but it cannot hide. Professional. Anyway, to help break through this bullshit, I reached out to someone who works in EDI, which is equity, diversity, and inclusion, or what Jivani is calling DEI. Michelle Grocholsky is the CEO of Toronto-based Empowered EDI, and she told me that what people usually oppose when they're talking about EDI or DEI or whatever you want to call it is workforce quotas. But those are, she said, exceedingly rare in Canada. Quote, EDI is not about filling quotas or lowering standards. It's about ensuring the standards themselves are fair. It's about asking how are decisions made about who gets interviewed, promoted, or paid more? Are those decisions based on merit, evidence, and transparency, or influenced by bias and outdated systems? Michelle explained that without these strategies, organizations don't have checks and balances in place to make sure that people are treated fairly. So, sorry, what's the problem with that? On top of that, Michelle told me that what worries her about events like the National Forum to End Liberal Racism is that, quote, they often serve as a cover for deeper resistance to equality itself. Quote, public sentiment against gender equity, immigration, and racial justice has grown more hostile in recent years. It's easier and often more socially acceptable to say one is against EDI than to say outright that one doesn't believe people from different backgrounds deserve equal opportunity or respect. But those beliefs are often what simmer just beneath the surface at these anti-EDI gatherings. So yeah, I can't wait to see what comes out of this national forum. It sounds like a really productive use of everyone's time. What do you think of all this?